What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by my boy Rome from a lot of stuff. I'm gonna let him introduce all that stuff. But what's up, Rome?
What's going on, everybody? I am Rome, as you said. I am a part of Voice Mission Podcast as well as Anime After Dark. And I do a lot of side things. I just started a little review page I'm trying to get going, but I'm not consistent, of course. But yeah, I'm in a little bit of a lot of things, and I do also the Western Highland as well.
Yeah,
I'm multi-talented, of course, but I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk some, games and anime. 'Cause two things I love the most,
yeah,
especially
for
anime.
yeah, for sure. And so today, me and Rome will be talking about the hot sensation right now, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Um,
Fire.
we're gonna talk about the insanity of One Piece chapter 1060 and some interesting gaming news and leaks that happened. So let's get to it. Uh, yeah, it's a lot of stuff we're going to cover. But before I get to that, as I always say, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and/or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Dad Needs to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, and some video games. So, like I said, we have a lot of cool stuff we're going to dive into. But of course, gotta check in with my boy Rome. How have you been doing this week, man? How things been going for you?
Um, this week has been kind of a bit of like I'm gonna say, but like an up and down, cause I'm in like the last few weeks of my current position now at
Mm,
my job. I got approved for, I got accepted to a new job, and I'm gonna be
nice,
starting at the middle of October. So
nice.
I'm kind of like working out these last few weeks at my job, and I really hate it. So it's little like when I get to work, it's just like I don't want to be here, but I'm gonna be here for a few more weeks. And just tug it out and just endure. So it's been like bittersweet. I've been kind of like hating that, but at the same time I've been enjoying the fact that I'm leading up to something that's greater and something that's gonna be better for me. So
Yeah,
I'm trying not to like look at the downsides. I'm looking at the good sides and trying to plan out these trips to cons because our AWA is coming up, and I I guess I'm going.
that's cool, man. Well, first of all, congratulations on the new job and position. Um,
Thank you, my brother.
hope things go good for you with that, man.
Um,
Uh,
I hope
yeah.
so too, because it's definitely been a long time coming now. I've been in my position. I've been working overnight for like what 6+ years now,
Oh wow.
and it's definitely taking a toll on my body, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So I'm finally looking forward to going to the daytime. So I'll be getting a daytime position. I'll be able to actually get in a proper diary and a sleep schedule,
Yeah.
and not be so exhausted, and have more time to really focus on what matters, which is me, because I've been slacking on that very much.
Yeah, for sure. And if you don't mind me asking, what type of work or field do you work in?
I'm currently a patient care assistant in the hospital, and I'm going to be moving up to like a center supply management supply chain
Nice.
association. So it's going to be a bit of a increase, a better, I guess, less strenuous on me. Because
Yeah.
the job I was doing previously was like more like strenuous, like housekeeping work. So now I'm moving on something that's a bit less task consuming, but more like more digital. So it's like just stocking out things, and it's not going to be as intense, but I still comes ups and downs. So I'm experienced and ready for whatever they throw
Yeah.
at me, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations to you,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious to know as well. So you mentioned you are part of a Worst Generation podcast. How long have you been part of Worst Gen? Um.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, shit. I've been a part of West Gen since we even was. It's funny because the way that West Gen started, I always tell the story because, it's a very funny story how we even started as a pod because it was kind of like all alignment of stars and just destiny just coinciding at the right time at the right moment.
Yeah.
And I say that because the long story short, 3 years back, there was group me raised, everyone's on group me, and there was an anonymous One Piece group chat, anonymous and nerds group chat where like I would come in every once in a while, I'll talk my shit, say
Yeah.
whatever. Oh, I love One Piece, I love all the loves anime, and we all just theories and we talk and we get all hyped up and shit like that. This was before like I think I was even on Twitter. So I was even on Twitter. So this is how I had my One Piece and like how my anime outlet. I was on like group me chats and I was talking.
Yeah.
And then one day we were talking about One Piece and like, yo, I don't want to get spoiled, but we were so eager to talk about it because it was
Yeah.
getting really exciting. You know, when you get excited for One Piece, you got to talk about it right then and there.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'm gonna create a whole separate One Piece chat. I created a One Piece chat for just everyone who wanted to join.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a side group all for the main anonymous group chat that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and that group chat has been going on ever since.
Nice.
Till today. It's still going on. And I actually left the group chat a couple of years and came back. And when I came back, I was just I got left in hands with someone that I knew was in the chat to be sticking around. So when I came back now after a couple of years of leaving, I was like, I was just in the chat one day talking and just catching up. And I mind you, I had not been in the chat for a few years, so I don't know a lot of these new faces, a lot of these new people that's in the chat.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about One Piece, because we all have that common interest.
Mm-hmm.
One day, one guy comes in chat and says, "Hey, y'all want to start a One Piece podcast?" Immediately, I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. I'm looking to try a different type of art form.
Yeah.
At this time period, I was painting a lot, and I was trying to try and find outlets of expression. I'm like, I'm down. I can talk about some One Piece.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, yeah. I said, yep, I'm down. The next person said they're down. The next person said they're down. We had about 7 people said they were down. There was me, Leek, Sensei, and GB, who was the person who asked, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And we formed a whole separate group chat just talking about, okay, this is what we're gonna be. We're gonna be this podcast. And we started off with about I think 7 or 7. There was 2 other people that was involved in the group chat too, but they ended up not being sticking around because they work constraints and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a form of the Worst Generation podcast.
Nice.
We was in that group chat and we was like, let's just form our own little podcast. And we formed a podcast and we had our first episode, I think 2 or 3 weeks after that. Mm-hmm. And now we're here.
Yeah.
So I've literally been here from day one.
Yeah.
And added detail, as we've added on people we've added Poodle and we've added Panda.
Mm-hmm.
Fun detail, the first anonymous group chat I was actually in was actually created by Poodle. So
nice.
She's technically the silent benefactor, silent connector of everyone, because it was her that created the group chat. And so that's why I say it was a lot of destinies, a lot of signs connecting them, because we didn't know each other at all.
Yeah.
We were all just in love with this one thing, which is anime and One Piece.
Yeah.
And that's what brought us all together in that right time, the right place for us. So what, let's do it. And 3 years later, we're still going.
Awesome.
Still going.
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed chatting with all of y'all, and of course getting to meet. I think I got to meet majority of everybody at DreamCon this summer. I'm trying. Did I?
I think the only person who wasn't there at DreamCon, because we have Lito, as well as Lito's not primarily always on pod. He comes on every once in a while. He does that guest space because he has a family of himself too, so he's a family man. So, but I think he did meet everyone. I was thinking Sensei, Lee, Panda, Poodle was there, and GB.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much everyone that was that's pretty active, on the pod on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we met most of the crew. There's about I think 8 or 9 of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We're basically the one through the Straw Hats, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're basically the Straw Hats. We are the worst generation.
Yeah. Awesome. And I think you would be the second person from the squad because I had Panda on earlier this year when we did our Ranking of Kings review episode. So maybe slowly I'll make my rounds and collect all the pieces to Worst Generation podcast.
Hey, well, I'm glad to be the second. Let's go, because I knew there was a point where everyone was making a lot of guest appearances, and I was one of the people who was oh, okay, I didn't have enough clout yet, but I was growing a little bit. So I'm glad to be here. I really am, to be honest, because I was yes, my time has come. I can finally I can be yeah, I was on this pod, they're pretty famous, they're pretty dope. They asked me, not just me, not you.
Yeah, man, because when I saw you at DreamCon, first of all, it made me feel special because the love you showed me, I was oh, okay, somebody else actually knows who I am and actually listen to my stuff and stuff. So and of course we also bonded over Sakamoto Days, and
Let's go.
it's,
That's my second. That's my next favorite.
yes,
Sakamoto, the GOAT.
yes,
The people don't know about him yet. They don't know about him, but I'm so excited that they're actually an anime adaptation for it. Oh, hold on.
yeah,
And Sakamoto Days is greatest, and I'm really excited for this anime adaptation that they said they were gonna do.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting because it's definitely gonna shock a lot of people because I know they're looking like, oh, who's this goofy looking fat guy who's on this cover? What's he gonna do? But they don't know.
yeah,
They don't know.
yeah, yeah. I'm ready for Sakamoto to take over the streets whenever we do get an anime for it and stuff. So I know it's gonna be a beautiful thing. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and real quick, and as far as myself this past week, my week has been pretty good. Though I feel like the last few weeks have been kind of like a jumbled up blur, and I think a mix of that is because of like I've recorded a lot of stuff in the last like 2 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it I don't know if I want to say unintentionally, but some of it, I'll just say some of it was more planned than others.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had yeah. What's up?
Sometimes the unplanned things are the best ones to happen. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
I've learned.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause like maybe like a month ago, I had like a couple of things that I knew that hey, this is on the calendar. I'm for sure going to be doing this and this, and then along the way, some other opportunities and stuff came up to kind of either it was either me doing something with some other people or somebody else coming on to my show and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
and heck, because even today, the stars kind of aligned because I had something else scheduled for this week, but that person they had some family stuff come up or whatever. So I was like, hey, it's cool, handle family business or whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
things just happened to line up to where Cyberpunk came out this past week and just took us all by
Took us
surprise.
all over.
And then I saw, of course, you and a lot of other people was hot on it too. So I'm like, well, perfect. I kind of have an open
Mm-hmm.
slot this week or whatever, and I'm like, well, perfect. So it all kind of ended up working out in the end. But yeah, but aside from that, yeah, like I said, I'm still just trying to just making my way a day and a week at a
Making my way
time.
downtown. So
Yeah,
I can help myself, man. Every time I hear that, it's making my way downtown, walking fast paces. But yeah, no, that does sound good because it's one thing about us, like when we get so caught up in our working and get so caught up in like doing things, we don't take the
hmm
time to really sit back and like, let me focus on what really matters, which is just like, hey, this content I need to put out. And it was like stars line because Cyberpunk was amazing. It was literally took the streets by storm. Because I wasn't even hip. I didn't even know it was dropping. Like I saw Moody was posting about it every once in a while. I'm like, oh, cool,
yeah,
that looks dope. But I didn't have a date when it was supposed to come out. I
yeah.
was literally in the middle of my binge watch of Bleach. So
Ooh,
like I was focused on that.
yeah.
But it's actually my first time around watching Bleach, so I'm trying to like
Nice.
get the hype, see what everyone loves about it. So before the whole new Thousand Year Blood War comes,
Yeah.
and then I was like, what? Let me go to Netflix and see what's on. Guys need a little break, and lo and behold, I'm like, oh, this is what Moody been talking about. It's the first episode. Just that first episode, the way that it started.
Yeah. Which, first of all, just to pause you real quick, cause we'll
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and just dive right into it. So, just
Oh,
let people know
my fault. Go ahead.
no, you cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we will be talking to spoilers, just to mention that up front. But I guess, but before we do, just to kind of give a little bit of a context for what Cyberpunk is, in case because of course y'all know I'll have timestamps for everything. So if y'all haven't watched it, y'all can skip ahead or whatever y'all want to do. But just to give y'all an idea, so Cyberpunk Edgerunners is based off of a book by the same, or not by the same name, but a book, Cyberpunk 20, I don't know if it's 2077 just like the video game, but it's Cyberpunk something that was written a long time ago. And since over the years, that book has also, they did a video game on it a couple of years ago. And now we have this anime series, which is being done by Studio Trigger. For those who might not know, who did Kill la Kill and Pearl
Mm-hmm.
Mare and so many other legendary, very stylized anime that have come out over the years. And so, yeah, and as Ron mentioned, it is on Netflix. It is 10 episodes long. So which ended up, I feel like was a nice, decent chunk. It didn't feel like it was too long, too short. It felt like it was like just right,
Yeah.
and stuff. So, but yeah. So that's kind of like in a general over, overview of like what Cyberpunk Edgerunners and stuff is. So yeah. So we can kind of just go ahead and just dive right into it. So like I said, we'll talk about some spoilers. So yeah, so Rome, I'll let you start first with what were your thoughts, your feelings with
Man,
Cyberpunk.
I, so many feelings, so many thoughts. But starting off again, the first episode I feel like was a wonderful. It break into this like strange like carnage, like throwing out. This is the world that you are. It's Night City. It's dark. It's gritty. It's colorful. The colors contrast. And
Mm-hmm.
then we seen the first look of this guy using the Santana stand or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And I would say that is one of my favorite things about the anime was just the color frames that they use and the way
yeah,
that they use the visualization of him moving at like light speed compared to everyone else.
yeah,
It like honestly that was one of my the favorite I don't even the best parts about the actual series was just the way that they used the color palettes, the way that they contrasted the colors between the reds and the blues. The, it was just amazing. It was visually stunning, visually amazing. They had a lot of like great set designs, and I loved how like you get a futuristic view of a city. You get
yeah,
the holograms, you get the little detail of them, like having phones in their eyes or as an implant or whatever it is.
yeah,
Because you have the slot chips. But
yeah. Uh, Hello.
was going through it, trying to think, okay, what didn't I like about it? What was so bad? But like, and I'm thinking about it, there's nothing really too bad. Aside from, I just wish I had more. To be honest,
Yeah,
like, I wish, like, as you said, like, 10 episodes was a great format, a good set, good limit that they had because they
yeah,
gave us a lot of story in those 10 episodes. Like,
yeah,
they broke it down. Like, it had like two parts. It literally had like two cores. So we had a first arc and a second arc in ten
yeah.
episodes, and it didn't feel like it was. It felt like it was just one smooth. She was watching the life of David, and man, did David have a life? Um,
Yeah, yeah, that first episode like did like a great job of just like setting the tone and expectations
mhm.
of what was going to be coming, because from even from what I saw in the trailers leading up to it or whatever, I don't think it didn't like fully prepare me for how just like raw and unfiltered
Yeah,
the show
it,
would be. Though I guess like in hindsight, like even though I didn't play the video game, I've seen enough of the game over the last couple of years since it's been out to where I know in the game they don't shy away from violence and nudity and all that stuff, whatever. And so like you said, that one big dude that they showed at the beginning just like going
yeah,
crazy
just going crazy.
with
Yeah.
his that thing you mentioned, and
Send us,
just
well, I just call it Sandy.
yeah, just saying all that stuff, but I was like, oh, okay.
Like literally, like, and I'm thinking about it now. Like, the first thing we hear this man saying is, "What do you want?" And he said, you want." What did he say? He said, "You got a problem with or something." Next thing you know, his head's getting
Yeah,
blown off in Latin sex. And then this leads to just straight carnage. And
yeah,
then for them to just lead off with that and just yank us out of that whole simulated reality, like, oh, nah, this wasn't real. You thought it was,
yeah,
but it was. But you know what it really was, though? It was amazing foreshadowing. That's literally what it was.
yeah,
It was amazing foreshadowing for what was to come. Like, okay, we're gonna show you what's gonna happen in the entire series. This is what it looks like when what they call it, psycho sickness or what they
yeah.
call it,
Something like that. I can't remember specifically.
psychochronosis, something like that.
Yeah,
But like, and that was another thing I did enjoy. I did enjoy the actual visualization of them actually going through that whole experience. Because it
yeah,
kind of looked like they were literally like glitching. Like you see that they're glitching in the frames, going back and forth from reality to like memories or fragmented and all this shit. And their eyes were just sort and the eye effects that they had, like the eyes just like spazzing out like that because they couldn't control themselves. And Yeah, that was amazing. Like as I was thinking about it, I was trying to think like which psycho sickness or whatever was my favorite because we had about like three different, I think four if you include the first one, instances of people who were on psycho sickness. We had the first initial case in the first episode. Then we had the guy who blew off the who killed Rebecca's brother. He was just a random guy.
Man,
That was,
dude, that I'm glad you mentioned that because that was like there's like a few specific scenes to where I literally remember like my jaw just being dropped because I was watching that scene
yeah,
and I'm like, okay, it's like clearly something's off with this dude just standing
yeah.
up here, and
Set
then
off
like just when he like put his fist underneath Rebecca's brother's chin and like his head just got
and
blown off,
just
I was
nose
like, what?
mouth to the floor because I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah,
What? And like, cause you get introduced to these characters and think, okay, these are going to be the main characters throughout the entire series. We get to meet them, like, the first group when we meet Maine and the other gang and the guy with the long finger. I can't remember his name. I'm just going to call him Rebecca's brother. But yeah,
yeah,
so you think that these characters are going to be with us throughout the entire story. And for him to be yanked away like that, and like, I think it was like episode 4,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, God damn. God damn. And but as I said though, but the visualization of what they did of how he actually got the sickness and just how crazy it made him, how psychologically unstable he was. Because
Hmm.
even Dave, even when you look at David too, he started. He was like, I don't know if you want to call it psycho things, but like he was literally he wasn't glitching, but like I think it was like the effects of like him being with the Sandy and him like in a state of trauma and like traumatic experience. He
Yeah,
didn't know what to do. But like you see him like shaking and bugging like he's unstable, like he doesn't know which way to go. You just see the colors vibrate around him because he wants to use it, but he
yeah,
can't figure out like what's the best move, what's the first thing I want to get into. And I do really like that little detail that they gave us, like like how the cycle things can affect someone so drastically for them to like not even know what's going on. But
yeah.
between his psycho sickness and main psycho sickness and David's psycho sickness, I can't even know because I'm leaning more favor to main psycho sickness mainly because I like the visual detail of like him, like him actually like running toward an edge to end the
Yeah,
end of the runway. Literally, what they are, they're edge runners. But
yeah,
that little added detail of like showing him going back and forth, like trying to figure out okay what's real, and then like even when he was in that desert, and then you see the blacked out squares like who's supposed to be the real world, but
yeah.
for him it's just like oh this is just a glitch in the matrix, so I'm gonna shoot at it. It was a lot of man. There's so many things I can say about Edge Runners. I'm sorry. I really love this series and I loved everything about it. So I can talk about it for a while, but I'm shut up. I've been talking for a lot.
Nah, you cool, man. Um, but yeah, cause like going back to that first episode, like we mentioned with that scene with the big dude, but then the
Mm,
fact of like uh David's mother like getting killed at the end of the first episode too.
yeah,
I was like, okay, that was kind of like the first sign of like, okay, maybe not everybody is gonna be safe. And then yeah, it was just like slowly
yeah,
over the show, pretty much the whole squad got wiped out. um,
pretty much.
by the end, and yeah, and just seeing David's journey, um, from being this kid that his mom is just trying to help him, just to live a better life and stuff, to his
Yeah,
mom getting
which
taken
was
away.
what all parents do. All parents want their kids to live a better life, but
Exactly.
his mom though was doing a bit too much. Though, if I would say. She could have, even though she did leave him well off enough to handle the bills and stuff. That's one of
Yeah.
these I didn't even pick up the first time on my second rewatch. I'm like, oh, so I was wondering like, how is he surviving? How's he paying for all these things? How is he even managing himself? But then I see the little detail. I think I must have missed it the first watch. Like, oh, his mom left with some money, and she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But like, but yeah, she was in a double life out here. She was a night
Yeah. Yeah.
junk scrapping.
And I liked how they kind of were continuously tying things together to where it's
Mm-hmm.
like even thinking back to the one kid in his class that kept on picking on him and stuff whatever, which first of
Yeah,
all,
well, Arusako's son, I think was it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That first scene where you just have like this like stuck up rich kid that of course he has the money, his family has the money, so he has all these enhancements, and he's doing this like fast paced like whoop, 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 whoop. And like at first, he's doing it, throwing the punches and stuff in his face, but it's not touching his face. I'm like, oh, okay, he's just bluffing. But then he just started going in, and I'm like, yo.
Man, that was an ass whooping if I've ever seen an ass whooping before. Fun fact about the actual whole sequence, I think I know how, I don't know, I don't think I followed the guy, but I followed the guy who actually sequenced that entire scene, and he said that the directors wanted to do like a whole Bruce Lee, like, woo, 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 woo. Like the Bruce Lee movements, but instead he went with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
And I love that in detail because that's what I was getting. That's the vibe I was getting. That was a barrage of like horror punches right back to back, and I love that detail that he added in there because like that definitely like showed that they are culture first of all.
Yeah.
Because I'm a JoJo. I am JoJo stan. I stand with JoJo. So I like that little detail they had, but that first introduction, like, that showed how bad his life was. He know that he was on the wrong side of the tracks. He know that he can't compete with these other, like, rich kids. He knows that he's just like, I'm doing the best that I can. But the fact that he's still brilliant in himself for him to hack the whole device and try to keep up with them, that shows how smart he is. And I think that goes, like, showing how, like, how his mental acuity or ingenuity towards the actual, like, like chrome that they implanted into him. Because I feel like that's what really helped him, like, prolong himself along the way too, because he felt like he had a better understanding of like how these machines work and how these chrome implants are affecting people.
Yeah.
And cause I was trying to figure, like, what made him different, what made him so special. And the only thing that really came to mind was that he was smart. He was able to, like, adapt and to, like, adjust these things himself, because that's what he loved.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I definitely, I did like to add a touch of detail of, like, showing his regular life, and now it just was so abysmal compared to everyone else's. He was just living in the gutter, and he's just trying to, like, make a better life for himself. But then life just happens, and niggas just shoot through your car.
Oh man, that whole sequence was so wild. But yeah, and that's something that I continue to like throughout the show, is that we get to spend time with these characters and stuff, to from them going out and doing missions and heists or whatever they're doing together, but also it's like, okay, we just they're at their homes, they're at the base, they're just hanging out, chilling, partying or whatever. It just kind of just made it feel more connected, and it also just made, when we did lose a character, it just made it hurt even more, because it's like, okay, we've gotten to spend time with these characters, which we keep mentioning, it's only 10 episodes, but they do it very well. Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, Sam, because they definitely had me wrapped up in character. Like, even the character cycles I didn't even care about, like Rebecca and her brother, like they weren't as important into the overall story, to the overall plot in itself. They were just as like add-ons, just like the driver. But like one thing I did like, the one detail I did like that they adjusted was, like, once he died, the brother, once his head got blown up. Because if you remember, like, just like you were bringing the whole thing about, like, how they have the kickbacks at the end of the drops, they were at the bar and they were, like, kicking out, all the cyberpunk and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that the brother was always there, like, giving like a comedic relief in a sense. He was over here doing little bar tricks, tending the ball with the bottles or whatever.
Yeah.
But once he died, though, if you peeped in episode, I think it was 6 or 7, his sister picked up that same tradition.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really nice little detail at the island, like showing that, these characters are so connected. Like, even though they hate each other, even though they don't like each other, but they all come connected to this one overall cause, that they are cyberpunks.
Yeah.
And we need, like, that little bit of reality, like, hey, we're all just having fun, we're all just trying to have a good time. And once I saw the shipping, I'm like, oh, that's so nice, because it looked like she didn't really like her brother at all. Because the way that she shot him, still, after he was dead, I'm like, damn, they must have had a very rough life together, but it still showed that they loved each other enough, to a sense that, she would pick up his, like, his old tricks, his old habits, just like, make it feel like he's still there and he's still with the whole group and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because they were really connected, and their connection definitely, helped to make that emotional attachment even stronger for me, especially with Lucy, when I found out about Lucy's story, which is really funny. Like, Lucy's story was very sad and traumatic, because as a I guess you call her a child hacker, the way that they treated her.
Yeah,
was pretty messed up. And like, just seeing her deterioration throughout the series, like in the second half of the actual episode series was pretty kind of heartbreaking. Just watching her fall into despair. When in the beginning you made this happy character who's seemingly happy, who's on the run. She's having a good life. She's stealing all these chips, and
Yeah.
she's seemingly happy. Everything's going right for her, and then it's just kind of like they have this one job, and it just starts going downhill from there. And it was really sad to see it though. But it was great storytelling, to be honest. It really was.
Yeah, and I truly enjoyed seeing Lucy and David's friendship grow into something more, because even like you said, from that very first introduction to where he's on the train and he notices her like stealing the chips out of people, whatever, and stuff. I was like, okay, that's pretty dope. Which actually, but I think if I remember correctly, before that episode and that moment or whatever, we kind of got like some like glimpses of her. I think kind of like maybe like in the background or in passing.
Yeah,
Um,
I know somebody. It was a scene like it seemed like it was like her hair flowing in like the distance, but
yeah,
he saw her, but then like in that same instant scene her, she disappeared in like one glance. I think it was on the way to school. So yeah, I did like the tribute of teasing her a little, but then when we see her again now, we actually see the hair and we see who the hair is attached to, and then we introduce Lucy, and
yeah. Which
she was.
she was a character that I really loved and I really enjoyed.
Yeah, mainly because of like she had a troubled past, but also it just showed that she was going through a lot. She
Yeah,
like she was hanging out again because she wanted to be a cyberpunk, but she had her own like own reasons for being a part of them. Just like everyone else, we were all a bunch of individuals who would come together just for this one purpose, called like we're all outcasts and we need
yeah.
money, so we're gonna pull these jobs, to get it done. You know, so it was really nice seeing her. What was I gonna say about Lucy? One thing I was gonna say about Lucy that I did really like overall, as well as just her character, I did enjoy her character design too as well too. Like that's another thing I did like about this series, the character designs that they had,
Yeah,
like how they blended the organic flesh or whatever
yeah,
with the chrome with the implants. It looked really nice. Like it made me want like, huh. If I was gonna get some little chrome detail, I probably had some like some gold knuckles too,
yeah,
maybe a little bit of arm cannon or some type of arm sight or something like that. But like as the story progressed too, and we just seen them like becoming more chromed down, just more brolic, especially David's case,
yeah,
it just made me like, yo, do you lose yourself even more when as you're doing that? Like when
yeah,
you're literally down to just metal, are you even still human? Are you even still technically a human being? Or are you just like a cyborg with a human brain at that point?
yeah, yeah. And that whole shift was kind of interesting to see as well when after pretty much, yeah, after Maine died, and then we kind of had that little time jump. I don't know how many months or
Mm.
whatever had passed, but yeah, and just seeing David having taken that leadership role, and then yeah, all the new things that he's gotten done. It's like
Yeah,
we kind of had a feeling that he would get more cybernetics and stuff, whatever, just by the way he kind of been talking up to that point, but
you're
just
right.
saying like how much he got done, it was just like whoa, you know.
Yeah, he definitely said, I'm gonna go full on Chrome, and he definitely did. But the way that they made it look like, it didn't really look like he was chromed out because I guess they had like painted like skin tone or whatever to max,
Yeah,
so it looked like it was like just it looked like his skin. But all that was just called. Even I think I still seen. I remember at one point like in his training montage when he was running with Lucy, he got his actual lungs replaced. And I was like, oh damn,
yeah.
and I was like, your lungs, my guy. So it just shows that like they can literally replace anything they want in this world. Like I think
Yeah,
even the guy that blew off the brothers he said he had like a gold penis. I'm like, bro, why would you do that? Why? Why?
yeah, man, yeah. It was, and that was like another thing, like was just like the rawness of it, like back in like those earlier episodes when David first
Mm-hmm.
got that device
The
implanted on him
Samuel.
or whatever, yeah, and
Oh,
just like him laying on the table and the doctor like them just pretty much like ripping his like freaking spine out or of the
literally.
one he had previously, and then implanting the new one. It was like yo. But
Yeah.
and one thing I also want to touch on too, with which we've kind of touched on a little bit, but just like with the visual style, and I feel like Studio Trigger was for sure the best pick that they could have done for what the show ended up being, because just the way the characters moved, and
Mhm.
especially whenever David did the kind of like, he basically used his ability, and it had like all the like the after images of
Yeah,
him moving and stuff, whatever. It just looks so freaking amazing.
it did. Yeah,
Just seeing
it
all that stuff in motion, and yeah, it just really just the whole the style just really brought this world and setting to life, more than I could have imagined. Like I said, even like I said, just knowing a little bit of that world and stuff, whatever. But just like seeing it brought to life in this way, it was like, yep, that Studio Trigger was the best team for the job.
Yeah, I 100% agree because I can't see any other studio being able to pull off thing that they pulled off. Because even in the moments like when the characters were raged down, they were like going crazy. You see like the drastic change in their facial expressions, or drastic the you can see the agony, you can see the pain in their faces.
Yeah,
And while they're still employing all these different bright colors, you're still feeling like the somber effects. Like this is a sad scene, but these bright colors are so like so contrasting. Like even I think it was a scene of like the one that I really liked was the death of DK, which is the I don't know who he was, some guy that was making chips or whatever for David that he was selling. But
yeah,
it was a sign in the warehouse when he was died, and like I keep thinking about it, the way that it contrasted the color of his red blood with a little yellow light and that was next to him. Like that was
yeah,
that alone was just something like okay, that's very nice. Like I know my guy's on the ground bleeding right now, but just looking at the scene, or even just looking at the scene when coming back from when David when I think Maine had just went full psychosis, he just blew up himself, and David's in the car now, and he's just holding on, clutching onto his arm, and you look at the scene where his face just looks very like I don't want to say like it looks like a sketch, but that's the best way I can describe it. It looks like he's sketched out because like all the dirt's on his face, but it looks like he's sketched out. But
yeah,
and then you see the one little tear come down his face. Like I can't see any other studio being able to pull off that in motion while still showing such a bright color schemes, and it's still being a sad scene.
yeah,
So I really think Studio was the perfect pick for this. They put their foot in their bags. They did what it did. The color visuals were amazing, and I can't. So many scenes were just so dope. Like so many wallpapers were screenshotted from this.
yeah.
So many wallpapers.
Yeah, for sure. Cause another scene that like really stands out in my mind as well is like the scenes of David and Lucy on the moon.
Yeah, that was
Like
another one too.
those looked like so fire. And of course, we for sure got to mention as well the music. Like
Ugh, ugh.
it
I,
was it was so good.
I honestly have been looking for. I thought they would have a soundtrack out, but they didn't, and I was kind of like heartbroken because I wanted to hear the
Yeah,
soundtrack just without it, but they didn't have a soundtrack out. So I literally just going back, listen to the songs. I'm gonna have to actually go back even more and just like bookmark what songs it was, who's it by, just so I can be up to date. But their sounds, the music that they chose were definitely top tier. The
yeah,
opening intro, fire, fire. That intro was amazing. I like the song. I like the visual that they gave. It's like David running on it, David running, but like he's running through all the different things, all the different scenes and different scenarios that's gonna be going through in the episodes.
yeah,
That was a very nice visual. Like it's not like the usual visual that they have now, where it's just people just throwing out different scenes like what's gonna happen. No, we literally just got a nice little color palette, little color designs, a little animation that looks cool. Doesn't tell too much about the story, and we just get the main character just like
yeah,
doing something very random, like walking. but but I like that they put like in a silhouette though. You see all the different like scenes flashing through like as he's walking along. So I did like the and even best I do I liked a lot was the sound design too of the actual Cybertronics and how they
yeah,
actually worked.
yeah,
I thought that was really nice well done. Like when you hear the sharpness of them popping out the skin or like the flesh tearing apart, and it's just like,
yeah,
oh yeah, this is the gritty. This is the gritty, gory shit that I like though. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
was not mad. I was entertained.
yeah. Same here, same here. And I also really enjoy the music along with the visuals for the outro as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool too. I'm trying to think. Oh, of course. Uh, I guess kind of like the main kind of sort of main villain person played by Giancarlo Esposito.
Was I knew it was him. His voice sounded so familiar.
Yep,
Okay, I knew that had to be John Carter, yo. But you're talking
yep,
about the guy with the three eyes on one side. I think
yep.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, that man, John Carter Esposito was just such a his voice is so you just know when it's his voice, and I had a feeling like okay, that's got to be him. But you were saying though, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, you cool. But I enjoy him. Anytime, pretty much anytime I see that he's involved with the project,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yep, okay, that just kind of, heightens it. Faraday, that was his name, Faraday.
Oh yeah, Faraday,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, it was cool seeing him involved with this, and also and this is I could talk a little bit more later, but he was uh Lex Luthor and Harley Quinn as well.
Was he?
Yeah,
Wow, I did not hear his voice in that one. That's that's funny.
yeah, cause when I was watching that and Lex popped up, I was like, is that? And so I went and Googled it real quick, and sure enough, I'm like, okay, okay. So, but yeah, so of course, I
Guy's
always,
working.
I always shout out to him for, like I said, everything that he gets involved in and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Of course, with the ending and stuff, it's like with by a certain point we could kind of see where things might go, but it didn't make it hurt any less.
It did not, bro. Because watching, I think if I know you're going with that, like going to the part where David gets into the suit, the armor.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I kind of knew it was gonna happen. I knew that they were leading up to like they're trying to. Cause they kept hinting at like, oh, he's got such hypersensitivity to these things. Oh, because his principal kept calling them. They kept telling like, oh, because they hinted at like I think it was like the first or second episode
yeah,
where Osaka was like, oh, why am I watching my son getting beat up? It's like, oh, this kid, he's using the Sandy. He might be a good candidate for this project. I'm like, okay.
yeah,
So what's the project though? And as the story goes on, because we forget about it for a little bit, but then they bring it right back around though. I think it's episode like 6 or 7 when they kidnap Osaka and they're like, "Oh, we need you for this, whatever." And as you were speaking about Faraday too, him playing like both fields was really fucked up. I cannot
yeah,
slide.
yeah.
Him playing them both was just kind of like, damn, bro, damn. We thought you was at least down with the gutter rats, but you was really just a
Nah,
spineless ass prick.
yeah.
But
Just trying to make his way up in the corporate world.
literally trying to make his way up, and you failed, and he got eaten up and chewed out. But but yeah, the lead up to like the final battle between like David and like the what's his name, the whole corporation, everything though was pretty damn traumatizing. I cannot lie because watching them, cause just like you said, the visual effects of watching them actually get these implants in, how they do it so rough and so like aggressive. It's like oh no anesthesia, rip off your limbs, cut you up and
Yeah,
dice you up and just throw it. I'm like oh my god.
yeah,
And watching David go through that was just so painful, and even more so as he's going through the psycho sickness or whatever,
yeah,
while still being able to maneuver that machine was pretty damn heartbreaking. Because like he was in pain. We see the pain in his face. We see him going through the turmoil. He knew he made a mistake because he didn't think he's doing the right thing
yeah,
because they manipulated him, and that's what hurt the most. When you feel manipulated and you feel like you trust people and your trust gets betrayed,
yeah,
that's the worst kind of betrayal, to be honest. When it's someone that you're close with, and it's sad. And it was sad because David was with them for so long, all of them from when you and because I want to say it looked like it was probably like a couple of years, at least, or like a year or two that went by, just based off like how David
yeah,
grew up in age. Because I don't think that was all like cybernetics that made him like get taller. I think that was just natural puberty. At least I'm hoping and assuming.
yeah,
But because he was like like in high school, so he was about like 16 or 17 when everything happened. So
yeah,
I want to say it was about like 18 when it was all over and everything like that.
yeah,
But just like seeing the progression of him throughout the entire story, like trying to figure out where his place, trying to figure out like what he wants to do, and then he finds a group of people that he really cares about,
Mm-hmm.
who are technically like in a way connected to him because of his mom in a sense, because they knew his mom, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why they took him in my opinion, is because they knew his mom. Because okay, damn, you were saying bad, and she was working with him, so
Yeah.
it was like it kind of felt like it's the right fit. Like this is where he belongs. He's found some people that he connect with. They are outcasts just like him. He has nowhere to go, and
Mm-hmm.
they're always trying to live out their lives and enjoy it. But just leading up to like the way that everything played out, and then getting betrayed by what's her name? What's that chick's name? The freaking I call her Noob Saibot.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
called her Noob Saibot because of the way her face looked. But
Yeah.
but yeah, just her betraying everyone and just like, cause I didn't even see that coming. To be honest, like that kind of threw me off. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It's always somebody real close that
Yeah.
that end up being like the linchpin to bringing the organization and stuff down. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, her the reveal of her betrayal um, definitely stung.
Yeah.
For
Oh yeah.
sure. Hmm.
And it what made it even worse because like I saw like
What happened?
okay,
All right.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I was just saying like just the connection that everyone that like I did not see the net runner, the chick with the mask. I did not see her being the one that was going to betray them. I initially I don't know why I felt like it was going to be Rebecca. She was one of those characters that was like she was a bit too quiet, like she was a bit too loud and just like too like she was trying to hide something,
Yeah.
like she was trying to keep like keep herself like on like unnoticeable, like I'm gonna be loud, extravagant, but y'all think I'm looking at me like a fool, but really I'm playing like a fool. So
Yeah.
I saw that playing out, but when it didn't play out, when I saw really like, oh, maybe she's actually here for David,
Yeah.
because she was actually looking out for him. She was actually trying to be his friend. I'm like, damn, not the person I thought it was gonna be. And then when it ended up being who it was, I was like, well, that kind of stung a little bit because I thought because the way that they played made it seem like she was with the crew for the longest time, and she was bonded, she was close with them and everything like that. She was
Yeah.
not one of those I think as you said, one of those linchpin characters who just like
Yeah.
they have to be there. So when she kind of revealed her hand, it was just like, well, now David has nothing left aside from like the driver and Rebecca, because
Yeah.
everyone else was gone, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. It was. Yeah. It was just sad to see all that go down, and then of course to see she ended up getting betrayed by Faraday anyways, which I
Right.
kind of had a feeling when he was coming, when she was like, all right, hey, I've done my part, I'm supposed to bounce, and when Faraday was like, before you go, I got one
Right.
more thing for you. I was like, don't go,
Mm-hmm.
because I already knew. I was like, he supposed to take you out, and sure enough, he was like, yep, anybody that knows about this project gotta
Got
go.
to go. Got to go. I know I told you, but you got to go.
Yeah.
But she redeemed herself doing the end though by like giving them the location, all this stuff. So she redeemed herself a little bit, but still, it was like, yeah, bitch, fuck you. You could just let it ride. You could let niggas win,
Yeah.
but you had to. And I didn't understand her motives too. Cause like, what was her real motive for you wanting to betray them? Was it just money, or was there something going on between her and Faraday? Because I didn't understand what her motives were for even wanting to betray them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just didn't make sense to me because like you seemed like you were pretty close to everyone else. You seemed like you were happy, you seemed like you were content.
Yeah.
So what was he offering to you that you wanted so bad? And I didn't really see what it was. Aside from it, just like maybe they had like some secret dealings on the background, but like what they were dealing, I don't know.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah.
just very
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, same here, and it kind of part of me was hoping that like maybe like in that final fight against whatever that big dude was.
Oh, Adam Smasher.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Part of me was hoping like, okay, maybe at least if even if Dave is gonna die, he'll take this dude out with him. But because of how this show has been going too, I was also like, the way it actually went to where it's like, nah, David's out of there, and things are just gonna keep going. I was like, yeah, this also fits within the context of this world of like, this isn't gonna be a story like most stories where it's like, well, at least he took out this guy with him. It was like, nah, this dude just beat
Nope.
David's
Whooped
butt
his ass. Ugh.
and tore him to pieces and then went about his day.
Literally, he was like, "Well, job done. Back to what I was doing."
Exactly. So I'm like, yeah, that they ended this in this in it all fits, within the context and the setting of this world and stuff. But and of course, now Lucy's kind of on her own,
Hmm.
and stuff, so to
But
speak.
she, but she did make it to the moon, though.
Yeah.
She did make it to the moon, and that was another thing I did. I noticed like as I was watching the episode, like I don't know if it was in every episode, but I did majority of episodes. I noticed that they had like a rocket ship taking off in the background.
Yeah.
Whenever David and Lucy seen like in the background, like they just had a ship taking off at nighttime, daytime, whatever it may be. And I'm seeing that ship toward that moon towards got a freaking pretty good business. They're always going up. But again, that was just like foreshadowing, of course, to leading up to like the immediate for her to like taking off and like leaving Earth. Which I'm happy she finally got her wish. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to like go to the moon and experience it.
Yeah.
Sadly, she can do it with David though.
Yeah.
But
And
that was
one of the little quick moment I want to mention too, real quick, that came to mind just because it was kind of interesting just seeing like, pretty much like after Maine died and David was in charge. Seeing the kind of like reverse of when David first came in, he was kind of the young guy on the team that was just rushing into situations or whatever, not paying attention. Well, seeing that this new recruit that they had brought on or whatever, that he survived majority of the mission,
yeah.
and then because of course he was freaking out when stuff started popping off, and he was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Right.
But
Just
they made it through, and then it's like, all right, cool, and he got all excited like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go open the door to get the hostages out, and they're like, hey, watch out for it, and he tripped that thing and just got blown to pieces, and it was like, yep.
blown to smithereens. like damn. But I'm like some of the deaths from this were so gruesome though.
Yeah.
Like gruesome. I just as you were talking about that, I just remember the like in our mains when he was going psycho sickness and he was going crazy. If you remember, he had Osaka strapped to his chest. Tell me why. I never peeped until the second watch. I'm like the scene where he's like he's surrounded by all the dash like whatever they call like people coming for the psycho sickness.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where he literally, how do I say this, chops off half of three people's body,
Yeah.
so only left just the legs. What did he use? What did he use? He used Osaka.
Yeah.
He used the body of this man and smashed him on the wall, while also like not but like half and three guards. That shit was so cold. Like,
Yeah.
like the deaths in this series are pretty damn gruesome, but they were at the same time kind of satisfying because I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Which
Ye-
which with that kind of goes back to with episode 1 of where I'm glad they set the tone early on with that, because I know a lot of people, because like the violence and stuff happened up front in episode 1, it kind of made more people cautious of like, okay, I can't watch this around my kids, or I need to go into a different room
Right.
or whatever, because at first I was like, oh, I'll just watch it, out in my room area, no problem, whatever. And then yeah, when the first thing popped off, I was like, yeah, let me come in here and
This is not a kid show.
yeah, and watch this in isolation and stuff. So, but yeah, this show, like I said, it's not often that we get something like this that just comes out of nowhere, drops down, and just like takes the community by storm and delivers from beginning to end on all fronts. Like I said, from the characters, the visuals, the music, the storytelling, everything across the board, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I have not seen anyone say anything bad about this at all. Because
Yeah,
everyone's just been raving like, "Yo, you got to watch it. You got to watch it." Because it is a must watch. There's not one bad thing I can think of that will make you not want to watch this. Aside from it being very gory, and if you're a squeamish person, then you might want to stay away.
yeah,
But if you are okay with the gore and you like the brutal deaths, like if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you're gonna love, man. You're gonna see some things. You're gonna
yeah,
see some things. You're gonna see some bodies getting chopped in half. You're gonna see some people getting ripped apart. Like, oh man, I just,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had a thought because I had seen the movie Barbarian today. This is very side tangent, but I
Barbarian.
just, yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty decent.
yeah.
But I just had a quick flashback of like a gruesome death that I just seen. I'm like, oh my god, that happened. That
Got you.
happened. Like, it's like someone's head got split open, bare
Oh,
hand with their bare hands.
hmm. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was looking up. Huh. Okay, I'm have to look into that. But
yeah, it's
but
pretty
yeah,
good.
man. But yeah, so
Uh,
yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't listen to it. I guess I don't know if you're wrapping up, but I just had one more thing to say. But
Yeah.
it's like that the visual effects and the design of that overall show because as we saw it was a pretty cybernetic, enhanced like
Hmm.
series and we saw a lot of but I did like the visual effects of them actually going into the internet, the cyber web, and it
Yeah.
looking the way it did.
Yeah.
It looked like the black and white, like as you see the little hack screen that people typically pick up the
Yeah.
coding screen.
Yep.
I love that they made it look like that. It didn't look like some futuristic like web, a bunch of colors. It was very plain, black and white. It was like that was the only basic looking thing in the entire series. Everything else outside of the internet, was amazing. But in the web, it was like straight black and white, just pixelated. That's all you need. And I love that they kept it so simple because that is what that coding box looks like. It's just a black
Yep.
box, and you just do what you need to do in there. And they
Yep.
were going through it, just trying to find all the secrets. And I just like all the little details they put in there, just to emphasize that this is a cybernetic enhanced show. These people are not full humans; they are cyber. But I guess I was going to say Autobots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
And
skipping, but
and you mentioned it also kind of reminded me going back to Lucy's backstory of like finding out like a long time ago basically somebody brought down the internet, and so a lot of
right,
stuff that was online kind of got lost, and that's what led to like we mentioned earlier with Lucy and the kids getting
right,
sent into this old internet to try to like find information or whatever the heck they had these kids looking for. But it was also just wild of like it's like them encountering basically like viruses and stuff whatever, and one by one the viruses and different stuff from the old web
mm-hmm,
killing all these kids and stuff whatever. And yeah, Lucy ended up being the last remaining kid or whatever, basically
yeah,
from that time period and stuff. So, but oh, and another thing with Lucy too that I really loved and enjoyed was when her and I guess kind of like the first time where like her and David like really started connecting. It was like that scene where David had got, I'm trying to think, did he get captured or whatever? And basically they like escaped out the back of like the ambulance thing.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
That
she's on
that was in
top
my
of
notes
him.
too.
Yeah, and she was on top of like the little stretcher thing as it's just like
Mm-hmm,
going down the highway and stuff, just like her facial expressions and stuff
mm-hmm.
like
Just
that or
showing how
whatever.
erratic she was, and they paid that off again too in like the last episode too when he flew out the window, and
Yeah,
I love that little detail but then this time we see the moon in the background now, and they
yeah,
kissing. It's very romantic, very scenic. Cause I was like, oh, that's so nice,
yeah,
and I love that they played it off again. Like this is the first time they met. This is the last time they're meeting, and it was just like, yeah, just so you know, I'm always gonna love you, David.
yeah,
That's in my mind. That's what she said to him.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So did you have any other closing thoughts or anything before we move on to some other stuff? Uh, did I drop you again?
Hello,
Yeah.
you there? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because you froze on me again, but
Oh man.
we're
Yeah.
making it work.
But yeah. I was just saying if did you have any other final thoughts or anything, but before we move on?
final thoughts. It was an amazing series again. I cannot rave over it enough. I loved it, and I love when we get like, cause I'm a big fan like the futuristic cities, the futuristic like New
Yeah.
York is like whatever you're gonna get, and the blending of the cybertronics and flesh was really dope. I love the sound design. I love the palettes, the color palettes they used. I love everything about this series. To be honest, I can't find any bad things. I just wish they would. I just hope they give it a season two. So everyone, please watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and I guess play the game too. I've never played the game either, so like I can't. I
Yeah.
came into this completely unaware that there was even a game that was related to this. I'm like, oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
This anime's fire though.
Yeah.
So it made me kind of like, okay, maybe I should check out the game to get a bit more story lore and see what's really going on here. Like, how do we get here?
Yeah, exactly, and I pretty much echo everything you just said. Yeah, this is definitely a must-watch show for anybody. Like we mentioned earlier, if you're not afraid of the blood and gore and stuff like that or whatever, it is just a very interesting and fascinating setting to be in, and yeah, that definitely deserves all the love and attention that that I hopefully it continues to spread going forward. So so that's Cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix, 10 episodes long. So let's see.
10 episodes of greatness.
Yes. So all right, so moving on from there, and I guess I kind of know a perfect thing to kind of jump into from that, but before we get to some other big topics, what I just want to mention really quickly, because like we just said, Cyberpunk was good, and of course, got to give a shout out to another awesome show from last year that was also from a video game called Arcane.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
and
Yes.
so Arcane, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, both of those are really good. Now, another game series that got announced for a anime, if I can get it pulled up, or I can mention it while I'm trying to pull it up, but now, while I haven't played this game series, I still know how big of a impact this game has on the world. Genshin Impact is getting an anime, and not only are they getting an anime, they're getting an anime that's going to be done by Ufotable, which
What?
for those who might not remember, Ufotable is the studio that does Demon Slayer and the Fate series.
They're in my book. They're called you Codable because they don't miss.
Yeah,
They do not miss.
and like just like the little bit that they just kind of just like tease with this little trailer that they put out for it or whatever, it's like I mentioned, I have no interest or connection with the video game series. I think I might have downloaded it back when it came out a couple years ago, or whatever, and run around because it's free to play. Um,
Mhm.
but I am definitely probably gonna end up watching this and stuff. So cause yeah, but and it's kind of funny. Like the day before they announced this Genshin Impact anime, I had made a comment after finishing Cyberpunk of like, man, I hope that we continue to see series get this type of treatment, because like I said, Arcane, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and now what we got teased for us, Genshin Impact. It's like, okay, let's continue to do this. Let's continue to give these different properties and stuff this level of treatment and attention and stuff. So I definitely had to give a shout out to that getting announced.
I will say one thing Netflix has been doing really well on is doing the game to anime adaptations.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if they've done one bad one yet. Because I'm thinking about Castlevania too. That's another game to
Oh
anime
yes,
adaptation,
yes,
and that was an amazing series in itself. Like we got 3, 4 seasons of that,
yeah,
and I need more.
yeah,
Like the characters we got from that series was amazing. The character development, the visuals was fire. The battles were amazing. Like Netflix is really in their bag when it comes to game to anime adaptation. I feel like if they keep on that, I guess train, they will be great. They will be good. But
Yeah.
you know, put your effort in the other animes too that you have coming out, the other originals. Like, I mean, you can do it, Netflix. I believe in you. I see what
Yeah.
you're trying to do here, but you gotta stick to what you know. Stick to what you know, and that is the game to anime route.
Yep.
Leave it to Crunchyroll. They can stream everything else, but you're doing a good job with these originals, and keep it up.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, a couple other ones I want to give a quick shout out to. Just like some, like I said, just like some quick little announcements. One of my favorite manga that I read in the last year, at least like with the first volume, they announced that we're getting a Frieren Beyond Journey's End anime, which here it is right here. I got my volume right here. We're getting an anime for this, which after I read this first volume, I was like, this is just begging to get animated because I know it's gonna hit with the slice of life fantasy feels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this has an anime coming. They announced. Let me pull up. They announced My Just a Darling season 2.
Good shit, good shit. I enjoyed that first season.
Some of these other ones is stuff I haven't really watched yet. Like the Saints Magic Power is Omnipotent season 2. I've heard good things about that one. I haven't watched it yet myself.
Me either. Isn't that a manhwa or is that an actual like anime?
That I think it might be an actual anime based off of a manga. Though, like I said, I can't say 100% with that one. What was the other ones? Another season of Girlfriend. Haven't watched that. Another season of shoot. What is Hold on, I was just looking at it. Rent a Girlfriend season 3. They announced that as well, which I still haven't watched that show, but I know a lot of people enjoyed that series though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are kind of it as far as like the big anime announcements from this last week, at least that I can kind of see and remember recently. So, but like I said, Frieren is my top one that I'm excited about. Yeah.
When's the anime adaptation going to come out?
I don't think they didn't give a date on it yet.
Okay.
Hopefully not too far in the future. But I'm excited for it whenever it hits and stuff though. Couple of other little quick news things I definitely want to give a shout out to. Cause Nintendo, so both Nintendo and Sony decided to have announcements and stuff last week. Now, a lot of the Nintendo stuff, whatever, I don't really care about it. Speaking specifically from what was in this Nintendo Direct, but one of the big ones is that we finally got an official name for the Breath of the Wild sequel. It is now going to be officially called Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And we got a date, which is now going to be May 12th, 2023. So, Zelda fans, we can mark that on our calendars and stuff. So, but yeah, the trailer they didn't show like too much or whatever. Just a couple of new shots of Link doing some stuff, whatever. But the biggest thing was, like I said, was the official name and date confirmation and stuff. So yeah. So shout out to Zelda with that news announcement. And with Sony's, sorry, I'm trying to pull up this stuff as I am talking. So they showed off a few things that kind of caught my interest. So for one, the Yakuza series, while I haven't played any of them yet, They're high on my list of stuff I want to get to because I always hear good things about it. But one of the Yakuza games that came out years ago in Japan but never got a worldwide release is one called Yakuza Ishin, and it's basically, it looks like the Yakuza characters but kind of in like a Edo era Japan
Hmm.
setting.
So we're doing with samurais basically then.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I'm excited and looking forward to that coming over here. And like I said, hopefully someday I can make some time to finally uh play some of the Yakuza games. Another samurai one that they announced from Team Ninja. Let me see. I just scrolled past it. Let me see. Where was it? Uh, shoot. Rise of the Ronin is the name of it. That one looks pretty dope. Which Team Ninja is working on a lot of stuff simultaneously because they're also working on this other game called I think it's called like Wo Long or something like that. Which it kind of fits that kind of mix of like the Dark Souls slash Neo style gameplay. Which, speaking of which, with that Wolong game, there's actually a demo out for it right now, which I didn't know until I was on my PS5 the other night, and I'm like, oh, let me see what my friends are playing, and my buddy Greg was playing, and I saw he was playing Wolong. I'm pretty sure that game ain't supposed to be coming out until like next year. And I scrolled over and I was like, oh, it's a demo. So I downloaded the demo, played a little bit of it or whatever. It was pretty cool. Had solid game. The gameplay on it was solid and tight, which that studio is known for having really good action combat. So but yeah, so check out that. And the big one that I got to mention as well. So they shut off more footage for God of War Ragnarok.
Ooh,
Now,
I'm excited. I am excited for that one. I've never played any of it before, but the gameplay I've seen have always been wow. Yeah, that's on
yeah,
my list of games I need to get.
yeah, that yeah, that I am just like flabbergasted with just like they show so much. With part of me is like, wow, Robert, why did you watch that trailer? Because I've been long since sold on the game. You don't need to sell me on this game anymore. But I was like, you know what? I'll watch this trailer. But then like, and it was like a like 2 minute or something long trailer or whatever. But like all these different scenes and stuff they were showing, and like potential boss fights and environments. And I'm like, oh my god, this looks. I I didn't think that it was any more possible for me to get any more excited for this game, but they did it with this trailer. I mean, especially like at the end where you see freaking Kratos and Thor clashing with Kratos's axe and Thor's hammer. Uh, like they throw their weapons at each other, and they clash in the
Mm-hmm.
middle, and they both call their weapons back to each other, and then like clash again.
I
Ah,
saw that. I did see
man.
that, and I was like, hmm.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so like I said, I was already long sold on the game. But but that, as well as y'all listeners, y'all know your boy Rob always talks about treating yourself to something nice. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. Cause they showed off. Let me see if I can find it. But they also showed off that they're going to be doing a special edition controller uh, for when the game comes out, and the controller has three things that I love. For one, obviously, I love God of War, so that's thing number one. Thing number two is that it has some shades of blue on it, which y'all know blue is my favorite color. Um, and then 3 on the touchpad for the controller. They also have some wolves, which are some very big uh, you know parts
Now,
of.
are they Fenrir, or they know the? Is
Yes,
that what they call them?
yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of what they were called, which
Yeah, man.
they showed them in that trailer too.
I do love the mythology of Thor and shit. So yeah, I love them niggas.
Yeah. So but yeah, that controller it looks so freaking good. Which hold on, let me see if I can get like a good picture of it or whatever real quick. But yeah, it's just something to where I'm like soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I gotta have this. I gotta get my hands on this any way possible. But yeah, but anywho, I can't get it to load up. But y'all can see like a little snippet of it right there, whatever. It looks beautiful, and I'll have it. uh,
There it is, a snippet flying across the screen.
but but yeah, but those are kind of like my few little highlights from like I said from like the gaming announcements and stuff, whatever. From this past week. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it as far as stuff I want to talk about with that stuff. So let's chug right along. And we're gonna save One Piece for a little bit longer. Cause we probably gonna end with that. So before we get to One Piece, is there anything else you've been watching and or reading lately that you want to talk about or shout out?
Um, I've really been like, as I've been rewatching, I've not rewatching, watching Bleach, from the beginning,
Yeah,
because I did watch it like when I was younger, like as a kid growing up on Toonami, but I didn't like pay attention to it. I was more invested in One Piece as opposed to Bleach. So One Piece
yeah,
is a goat, which I do and caught up with. But yeah, so as I've been watching Bleach, I'm seeing similarities between Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho for sure. Like
yeah,
a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same like storylines and plot lines. I'm like, oh, okay, I
yeah,
can see why people like it. Like even the characters, Yusuke and like Ichigo, very similar in terms of like they love to they're very brazen. They're very like I'm gonna do what I want. You can't
yeah,
tell me what I'm doing. They're the fake delinquent kids who are also pretty good friends with everyone else because they're so sweet and innocent on the inside.
yeah, yeah.
Those characters. But I've been enjoying it though. It's been a good. I think I'm about like 25 episodes in, so I have a
Okay.
long way to go.
Yeah.
But I think it's like 300 some episodes. But I
Yeah.
but I have been enjoying it. I've been like seeing, kind of understanding the hype. I did like have my first emotional tug of the heartstring moment when I found out about Ichigo's mom and like how she ended up
Yeah.
how she ended up like passing, how they in the situation they are in now. So
Yeah.
I would give to them. I can see why they like it. I'm not like as I guess like captivated as most people are.
Yeah.
So I'm not there, but but I'm enjoying it. I've also been reading, of course, One Piece. I've been reading My Hero Academia as well too,
Yeah.
and I've been reading like Sakamoto Days, of course. And there's a few new mangas I've been reading called Super Smartphone and Aliens Arena.
Yeah.
Those are two pretty good ones. I don't know if people know about them yet, but they should definitely check them out.
Yeah.
Definitely check them out. Because Aliens Arenas, someone said it best. It's kind of like Men in Black, but with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's like Men in Black, and I like that concept. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty dope. And like, I like the characters. Like, okay, we got a little Sherlock Holmes looking guy who with a cane, who looks kind of crazy. He looks like he's a straight psycho,
Yeah.
but he's working like to defeat aliens. And I do like how their powers kind of like manifest throughout the actual, like as I'm reading so far. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like technological based, so it's not like organic based.
Yeah.
So like these aliens, like it's basically like the alien tech that people that is getting stuck on people. And I also did start reading, as I just thought about it, on Dead Unlock 2. I started rereading it
Ooh.
because I haven't read it in so long. I'm like, I gotta catch up to like figure out what refresh my memory essentially. So that's
Yeah.
another good one to read.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't been watching much of that. I've just been reading, to be honest, because I'm always been more of a reader as
Yeah.
opposed to like an anime watcher. So So I think, and I told you today, the only thing I actually caught up to was Ayawashi because love that show,
Yes,
love it,
yes,
love it, love
yeah.
it,
They are.
love it.
Yeah, yeah. We are in the thick of it. And you have watched the most recent episode, correct? The one
Which
that came out
episode? I'm
yesterday.
up.
I think it was.
I don't think so
Was it
because I
20?
think I stopped at like episode 21
Okay.
on my TV. So
Okay.
I think there was like about two episodes to go. So I think I'm like, oh, I'm almost caught up.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
but I've heard that is pretty intense. I've heard that is pretty good because I think it was oh, in the time I was talking like, oh yeah, it's good, it's good. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. But and I can see the lead up. I got to watch episodes like 21. I'm like, okay, I see you. You're
Yeah.
starting to learn a bit of Tachibana is coming out of his show. Okay, I'm seeing. Like I just need Aoashi to get his shit together
Yeah.
and decide what are you gonna be, bro. You know you got the eyes. You know you got the vision. Put them into action. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
I believe in you. And
Yeah.
also, one other thing I've been watching too, the greatest anime that's out right now, Summertime Rendering. Some
Ooh, yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. It's and it sucks that's not on any streaming platforms, so it's not like not people can know about it. They have to go to these side sites, but it's really, really good.
Yeah. Are you
Really good.
are you caught up on that one?
I think I'm like no, I'm not. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind. Cause again,
Okay.
I'm a binger, so I
Yeah.
like to let them build up for a
Yeah.
little bit before actually I can dive into it completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like to binge. So like I think so like I've been given like about 5 or 6 episodes at a time,
Okay.
and I think I'm at like episode like 20 right now. So I'm probably
Okay.
going to let it finish off and then binge off the rest of it after the final
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. 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 I'm trying to think. As for myself, and actually, I guess I might as well go and mention this now before I forget. I there was a new one I checked out today. Uh, called. Let me get the name. While I'm trying to find this new manga, anime wise, pretty much a lot of stuff that you said. Uh, I caught up on Chorus Recoil. That's been really good to watch as well. Just seeing, these adorable girls kicking butt, John Wick style, with the guns and the weapons and stuff. So that's been really good. I think next week is the finale for that, I believe. So this most recent episode was action packed, emotionally packed, and so it really set the stage for the finale next week. Same thing with Parallel World Pharmacy. That's another
Hey,
one to where we
hey,
have.
my brother. I'm sorry to cut you off
Yeah,
there. I was muted for a moment, but I was listening. Did you say there was some little innocent school looking girls kicking ass like John Wick?
yeah.
Is
It's
that what you just said?
yeah, it's called Chorus Recoil. It's on Crunchyroll.
Interesting. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to add that to my list because I am a John Wick fan.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And it has a good mix of the action stuff, but also some nice, sweet, wholesome moments of just seeing them just kind of hanging out and stuff too.
Mm,
But when they get to the action, they get to the action
mm,
and stuff. So, but yeah, and that one probably would be a really good little binge watch as well. 'Cause like I said, it's um, I think the final episode should be coming out next week, so that'll be like 13 episodes roughly. For
okay.
that one. Uh, and the other one, Parallel World Pharmacy, which that was a good episode today. But that's also setting up a potentially sad finale next week, because when you have because at the end of every episode they always show like the title for the next episode, and so the title for the next episode is those he couldn't cure. so
Mm,
so that doesn't leave me with too much hope that things are going to end sunshine and rainbows
definitely not.
next
Definitely not.
next week. So yeah, so that one's really good. Of course, I caught up on Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting because I was a couple episodes behind on that. Uh, that was really good. Though things got a little bit darker in these last two episodes compared to. Not saying like there had been like some dark moments throughout the season so far, but I feel like these were some of the more heavier episodes um, throughout the whole series so far. But that's yeah. Yakuza's Got a Babysitting really good. And the other one I caught up on too was Call of the Night. I was a few episodes behind on that too, and so that one also, most recent episode, also cranked up a notch, and got a bit more serious as well. So yeah, so we'll see where things go with that because I think that also is going to be wrapping up soon. Which most of these shows are going to be wrapping up soon because we're getting close to the end of the summer season. So it's going to be a lot of season finales over the course of the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to think. I think is Made in Abyss's finale next week too. I think.
Oh, Made in Abyss. I actually just binge watched the first season like a couple weeks ago,
Nice.
and that was strong. That was very dramatic. that that binge. It was so nerve-wracking in a sense because like as I'm watching it, like it seems so wholesome and innocent, so nice. These little cave divers, little miners, little kids, like But as I keep watching, I'm like in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, who's allowing this shit? Who's allowing these kids to go into these dangerous caves, these dangerous tunnels to look for this artifacts or whatever?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, this cannot end well. This is not gonna end well for these kids. Why are they
Yeah.
allowing this? And as I kept watching and I got close to like the ending of the season, I'm just like, wait, oh, that one episode with the spiky thing and when they got to
Yeah.
like I think it was level 3. Oh, who the animator that whoever put that in there is got to screw loose because why would you make me watch that? Why would you make me watch that
Yeah.
scene, knowing how heart wrenching it is to see that, and
Yeah.
you put it in there, knowing what you were doing, and you're gonna make it even worse by making the person who's trying to save her life an incompetent fool?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So
Come on.
so yeah, Made in Abyss. Still traumatizing even in season 2. Which speaking of which, make sure before you go into season 2 that you watch that movie that
Yeah,
connects it
I've been
to.
told. It's
Um,
the third movie they said, right? Not the first
yeah.
two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and I'm trying to think. I think that's it as far as like the main things I've been watching lately. Oh, of course, I got to give a shout out, like I mentioned earlier. Um, season 1 of Harley Quinn. Um, that show has been so good. I've seen people talking about it for years at this point, probably. And then of course when I had the homie Scuba Steve on last week, we was talking about some stuff and that kind of came up or whatever. And so yeah, so I don't know why it just kind of like felt the right mood. The other day I was like, you know what, let's dive into some Harley Quinn, but I definitely was not ready for how violent and vulgar and adult across the board it was. But I'm loving it. But like I said, I just was not expecting, the blood and the bones cracking and the death, a lot of death. But it has been so good. Um,
Yeah.
but
You can get a lot of bone cracking, man, and a lot of deaths. That's for sure. As I said, the series is amazing.
yeah,
Like season 2 and season 3 gonna get even deeper into the whole Harley Quinn story and like her emancipation essentially from Joker.
yeah,
But Har- just keep watching.
yeah,
I just because I can talk about it and I don't want to get away any spoilers because I know I can get too excited.
yeah,
So, but it's definitely a must watch for anyone to watch. It's on HBO Max.
yep,
Gotta watch it. 3 seasons just finished up. Quick binge. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely must watch.
yeah, for sure. Um, and so, oh yeah, so the new manga I checked out earlier today is called Tokyo Underworld, and it's only 2 chapters on Manga Plus, but I think it's maybe up to chapter 10 elsewhere. But so the basic synopsis of this is according to urban legend, the guilty are sentenced to fall to the Tokyo underworld. There they are given no mercy and are mercilessly judged for their crimes in the cruelest ways imaginable. Now, one of the things beside like just like that setup and stuff, whatever, that caught my attention is that the main characters for the series are twin brothers, and they have something that is called what's it called? It's something synchronicity. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick because I had it pulled up. Twin synchronicity, to where basically they share pain. So if one of them gets hurt, the other one feels it. And so through these 2 chapters, they kind of set up these kids, and then we pretty much get sent through. Some stuff happens, and this whole class of kids get sent to this Tokyo underworld, and so and trouble kicks off almost immediately, and stuff where people are dying violently off the bat. And so but like I said, just something new. I had checked out the first couple chapters for, like I said, it got my attention enough to where I'm like, okay, I'll keep tabs on this.
It sounds interesting already. You already got me here with people dying. It sounds like it was not really, not really. I was just thinking about Airwashimon, I think it was. It was another crime syndicate
Oh,
type anime. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Manga that stuff came out a couple of months ago and everything, but it got dropped, and I was really sad about it 'cause I was actually looking forward to, like, binging that one because it looked really interesting, following a kid who's down his luck, but he meets all these, like, I guess ghosts, but and I get it call them differently in Japanese lore and culture, and he
Uh,
just gets
oh,
immersed in this whole, like,
yokai. Yeah,
crime. Yeah, the yokai, and then he gets immersed in this whole, like, underworld crime and all underworld bosses and all this shit.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be good. So it sounds similar to that, so I'll have to check it out. What's it called again?
Tokyo underworld.
Tokyo Underworld.
Yeah. Um, couple other quick ones.
Mm.
Uh, I finally found another new chapter of Shangri-La Frontier, which shout out to everybody that's been picking it up because it officially, the physical copies officially came out this week. And so it was very awesome when I was out and about at Barnes and Noble the other night, and I saw it on the shelves and I held it in my hand. I was like, yes, it's out in the streets. And so, y'all remember I did a review episode on it a couple months ago, but I love that series so much, and so to finally find a new chapter had been put out or whatever, was very dope. So I'm looking forward, or I already read it or whatever. So I'm looking forward to kind of being back caught up with that. Same thing with, I'm looking forward to binge reading another recent favorite of mine, Oshi no Ko. Because the weird thing or the crazy thing with that one is that that's one I just reviewed at the end of August, and so I'm thinking, okay, it's only been a few weeks, surely it's only like a few chapters. I am 17 chapters behind, and I'm like, what the heck happened? So come to find out, I'm guessing the releases on Manga Plus are behind the Japanese releases, so they've been releasing 4 chapters a week.
Wow. So
So
they've been just pumping it out.
yes, and so I'm pretty sure I was on chapter like 72. Why is it like on chapter 87?
Mm.
And so, but somebody in the comments have responded, and was like, yeah, they're behind, and so they're doing 4 chapters a week to catch up. So I'm like, okay, so that's gonna be a really good binge read. And same thing with, I started back reading Witch Hat Atelier. Um, and that's been a really good read and stuff as well. Yeah. And last little bit of thing I need to circle back with news thing. I just want to just touch on super briefly so we can dive into One Piece because I know it's getting late. Um, there was a big leak, a big old leak for
Massive leak.
for
Massive.
Grand Theft Auto 6. And so I know that the people over there at Rockstar are not having a good weekend, and probably will not be having a good week anytime soon, because this wasn't just a screenshot leaked, or like, you know a leak of a couple shots or whatever. It is like, no, like several multi-minute clips of GTA 6 got leaked online. Like somebody hacked into their stuff, whatever. Oops, hold on. Am I freezing up? Okay, all right. I think I might have been doing too much or whatever. But anyway, yeah, GTA 6 got leaked online, and it seems like, yeah, all hell has broken out uh, over there at Rockstar. So yeah, so much
Man,
love and shout out to
I
that
don't.
team, because like I said, they probably, you know, the development in general, I know it's hard for that stuff, but to have stuff leaked and compromised, because also the source code for the game got out there as well. So
Damn,
yeah, so yeah, much
damn.
love to the
Yo,
people
these
at
hackers are
Rockstar.
kind of out of control a little bit.
Yeah,
These hackers are out of control, but like, thank you for releasing it. Thanks for letting me know it's coming. That it's a real thing and it's coming. Because I know it's been rumored for like how long now? For like a couple of years.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
uh, I'm looking forward to. I will actually buy this one.
yeah,
Because the only other time I ever played GTA was always at a friend's house. I never
yeah,
actually owned the game. I borrowed the game. Oh, I can borrow it for you. Oh yeah, cool, cool. And I just never returned it. So yeah, this will be my first GTA I ever owned.
oh,
Or if it ever comes out, because now with this whole leak and everything, I don't even know if they're gonna. They might push it back, make it even longer.
yeah. Well, because they had mentioned uh maybe like a couple months ago, they had officially come out, was like, yes, we are working on GTA 6, but it's not going to be coming anytime soon. It's like people are projecting maybe like 2024, 2025. uh by the time it might officially come out and stuff, whatever. So but yeah, but like the only thing that we've kind of like roughly know about the game is that like the main character is going to be like or at least like one of the main characters is going to be a Hispanic female, which would be cool to finally have some new characters and stuff, whatever, in the mix, some new ethnicities, I should say, in the mix with that and stuff. So, but
So what you're saying is we're gonna get some black people?
well, we've had some along the years, especially like San Andreas was majority
Yeah,
black, but just getting a
yeah,
chance
like
to have having a woman protagonist, and a woman of like I said, she's a Hispanic background too. So it's like, okay, not only are
right.
y'all giving a lady, y'all finally doing a lady of you know of color.
Of course.
So
Right.
so so yeah. So but anyway, enough of that. We got to touch on this, but before I let my boy Rome go, cause like I said, I don't want to hold you too long, man. But
Yeah, I do have about like good another 20 before I get kicked out of this super garage.
gotcha. Um,
Yeah.
but we cannot leave without touching on the craziness that happened this week with One Piece manga chapter 1060.
Bro. I don't even know I don't even know what to think. I don't know how to think.
Yeah,
I thought I knew I thought I understood the story. I thought I had a good understanding of like, where we're leading the road to like Laugh Tale. He
yeah,
wants to be the pirate king. But is that even his dream? Yeah, is that even his dream? I know that's his dream, but like but it seems like this whole thing with him being pirate king is just like a means to an end,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
It's just like, oh, I need to be this just so I can do this. But what
yeah,
is it you want to do? And I've been thinking about like, what is this something? Because I'm trying to base it off of the reactions of all the crew members.
yeah,
Trying to feel, okay, what would Luffy say that would be so crazy that he would have Zoro completely shocked, have freaking Nami shocked, but have freaking Brook and like and Jinbei and freaking what's the name? Why
Nami.
am I blanking? No, not Nami. You're the one.
Robin.
Oh, Robin.
Yeah,
Because even Robin was like smiling, like, "Oh, that's such a nice dream." I'm like, "But what?"
yeah,
But he's like a lot of the psychotic characters, like who like, "Oh, they're like they'd be down for whatever."
yeah,
So like whatever he says, sure, Captain. But I think the one reaction that we have to pay attention to was Zoro's reaction. To be honest, because Zoro looked like he was like, "Nah, like, what?
yeah,
What?" It might literally might be the turning point that makes Zoro be like, nah, I don't want to be around here anymore. Because I know there's been theories and speculations about Zoro leaving the crew and shit, but mm,
nah,
I'm not gonna put it out there because I don't want him to leave.
yeah,
But this definitely was just kind of like what the hell, Luffy? What the
yeah,
hell?
yeah. We kind of knew things were gonna pop off this chapter when it was named like Luffy's dream,
Right, right.
and it
But
was like
in my mind, I literally thought it was gonna be him dreaming, not
yeah,
an actual.
yeah, not that dream, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I definitely wasn't expecting that part as well, and stuff, but that kind of just opened the door of just like the speculation again, like what the heck is it?
yeah.
you know,
What is it? What is he? What is he after? And
yes.
in my mind, I'm like, knowing Luffy is probably something very dumb.
I,
You
I,
know,
I, I did see some people kind of mention like hey like maybe he says his dream is to go to the moon or something
I,
outrageous like that.
I had seen that. I had seen that too. I had seen
Yeah.
that too, and that would make sense. But doing the whole connection between like him and what's the name guys on the moon right now? What's the name? The lightning guy.
NL.
And now, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be a good connection, and and the whole Lunitarian storyline. That would be a good
Yeah.
way to connect them because if they call Lunitarians for a reason, so
Yeah.
they gotta be from the moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And cause I know there's been a long run theory that that's where the celestial dragons are actually from. They're from the moon, which is why they wear those spacesuits and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but the One Piece definitely just got me even more excited now, even more invested in the actual storyline because I don't know what to expect anymore. I'm feeling like a new kid
Yeah.
reading the story all over again. Like I said earlier, this feels like a side B storyline because like it's still like what the fuck? It's like such a drastic like shift now. It's like okay,
Yeah, and that is what's been so exciting. Pretty much since we wrapped up the stuff in Wano these last, I guess maybe like the last like 3 or 4 weeks or however long it's been, of just like okay, we're in super uncharted territory of like
mm-hmm,
we have no clue what Oda got planned. And prime example is that another big thing that happened this chapter was and just the way that the pieces were kind of like slowly being placed on the board before
mm-hmm,
before Oda dropped the bombshell of like we start off with uh Robin reading the news to Luffy them about Sabo killing Cobra and all this stuff, whatever. And of course, Luffy's like, nah, Sabo wouldn't do like that, da 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 da. And then we see Sabo get in touch with Dragon and the Revolutionaries being like, yo, I didn't kill Cobra. And they're like, of course we know you didn't. He's like, hey, I ain't got much time. I need to tell you, when I was at Mary Joa, the empty
mm-hmm.
throne wasn't empty.
It wasn't empty. There was someone on that bitch. There was some nigga on that bitch. So we've been lied to. We thought it was
Yes.
what government controlling everything. Nope, it was a big shadowy figure in the background the whole time.
And just like the way the tension just kept building this chapter to where we
Mm-hmm.
see then we see we see Emu kind of listening on everything. We see the five elders talking about all this stuff, whatever, and they talk about how, or I'm trying to think, because so the Navy is listening into Sabo's conversation, and then they're relaying the information to the five elders, and as well as like Emu is over here and all this stuff, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
they pinpoint like, okay, Sabo is on one of the islands that recently rebelled, Lelucia. And so, Sabo's trying to talk fast. He's like, hey, da 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 da, all this stuff is going on. And meanwhile, we see the citizens of this country being like, yo, it's something up in the sky. It looks like there's a shadow above the clouds.
Man, yo, I don't like.
What?
I keep thinking to myself like that was not a Buster call. So I
No,
don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, they
And
they
I
they
seen
got something
I seen
crazy.
that I seen some people theorizing how it could have been a celestial or dragon attack. Because I don't know if you peep, this probably gonna be very stretched.
Yeah,
But this I saw was in a One Piece group chat. I'm like, huh, okay, I can see where you're going. But like, if you look at the beam of light coming down,
yeah,
you see like there's like the strings attached to it, like like that's like as it comes down, like
like
those
multiple
lines or
lasers or
whatever.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you count them, there's 16 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's 16 lasers, and someone I referred to like how back to like how when Don Flamingo like when he lost his family, the the Celestial Dragons had given him 16 shots
Yeah,
or 16 bullets, whatever. So it's like 16 seems to be like a significant number
yeah,
for like Celestial Dragons and like them like inflicting pain or inflicting some type of damage or whatever.
yeah,
That seems to be like their number and shit. So the fact that there were 16 of these little lines, I mean, that it could have been like
yeah,
the celestial dragons were actually obliterated because like who would have the power to like control celestial dragons if not Imu Sama, who is the king of the world, who would be essentially if not the king of the celestial dragons but like also the ruler of them.
yeah,
Cause I feel like he is able to like actually tell him what to do because he is the ruler of the world. He's at the top, you know.
yeah.
So, but my thing is now I don't think Sabo was dead. I don't think Sabo was actually involved in
Nah.
the actual island. No, of course not. Because when you look at the map and you see when he crosses over Lucia, there's an island literally to the top of that, right?
Yeah,
There's an island right there next to him. And if you look and we look in the report, it says we have reports of secrets of the southeastern shore. And I'm not a mathematician. I can't read maps, but I know how to read maps enough.
yeah.
And that looks like from where the location of Lucia is and where that other island is, that
Mm-hmm.
would be the southern eastern shore. If you're looking at a map, like east and west, that would be
Yeah,
the southern eastern shore. So he's not dead. I know that, but at
yeah.
the same time,
And you know,
mhm,
and plus because of his devil fruit too, he can just turn it to flames. So it's like, you know, I feel like
mhm.
while not saying he's gonna walk away unscathed, even if he
Oh
is there
no,
on the
no.
island, he probably still gonna come roughed up a little bit. But yeah, like, oh yeah, I can just turn the fire and just
But I mean, that's not gonna save him though, because if everything's engulfed in water, because it says tsunamis are on the way, so like
yeah.
that means like that whole island's probably gonna be demolished.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That man. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, cause I'm looking at it on my phone right here, whatever, and just like them talking and just like I said, just a bit up or whatever, and then they're just been like what island, Lucia, that never existed, as he's like exiting it
Hmm.
off the map, and then we just see just like this crazy panel of like you said all the freaking beams or whatever the heck is running down from the clouds and just obliterating. Which man, we know whenever probably sometime at this time next year when the anime gets to the scene. Ooh,
Hmm.
man.
Man, the way the anime has been going lately, though, I don't know what they're getting paid, but they're getting paid big bucks. Cause, bro, the
Yeah,
animation quality wise,
yeah,
One Piece is literally like in a whole different league of its own right now. They're giving the movie quality
yeah,
fights, and
yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Thank you,
for sure.
thank you. Cause I am in bliss. Like coming
Oh,
from where y'all started off, like yeah.
oh yeah. One other quick thing I gotta mention too with the island getting obliterated that I saw some other people also mentioning as well, kind of maybe drawing parallels to, is gosh dog it the island that Rocks fought
Oh, you
um
mean God Valley?
God Valley. Thank you. It was slipping
Mm,
my mind. Yes, because it's kind of a similar thing when they were talking about that, where people were like, God Valley. I've like oh yeah, when Sengoku then was talking to like the younger Marines, and then they were like, God Valley. We've never seen that on the map or whatever. We don't know what that is. And then them
mm,
kind of men being like yeah, well, it used to be a
mm.
thing, and now us seeing this is like, whoa, is that what happened to God Valley back in the day? That Emu or whoever was like, yeah, we got,
Mm.
let's get rocks out
And,
of
and
here.
and that would make sense to
Yeah.
like tying back the whole Celestial Dragon thing because there was a theory that the reason why that whole God Valley thing happened was because what's the name Garp was protecting the Celestial Dragon at the time and the
Mm-hmm.
Rock Spirals were there and they must have tried to kidnap some type of Celestial and that's how the whole fight broke out.
Yeah.
So I can see Celestial Dragon like in retaliation say, no, we're gonna destroy the whole island and get rid of everybody. So I
Yeah.
can see that being then the reason for them to destroy the island. So
Yeah.
it could be this is the the island erasing weapon. And someone I was talking to, I think it was Leak, and he said that it could be one of the ancient weapons.
Yeah. What's the
So
last one? Uranus. Uranus,
you ran,
because
yeah.
because we already know Shiraho, she's Poseidon. We
And
know
I know
that
Pluton's in Wano.
yep. And so it's like, all
Hmm.
right, well, it's like we got something that can freaking just wipe a whole country
Oh,
off, or a whole island or whatever off the map. Sounds like could be an ancient weapon to me.
and the fact that they're using it now, it showed that okay, they don't care anymore about it being hidden that they have it.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna use this power because even they got the new CPs, what they call them, the new cyborgs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Them little niggas,
Yeah.
the lunatarians essentially. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what they are, remakes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that blood mixed with kid versions of freaking Boa and Mihawk and
mm,
who knows who else
mm,
they're gonna bring out. And speaking of kids stuff, real quick, the end of the chapter, we jump ahead a few days after the island gets wiped off the map. We see
mm,
the Straw Hats in a cold climate getting tossed and turned around, and then all of a sudden it's a giant bubble of water floating above the sea, and they're like, yo, what's going on? And then Luffy and Sanji are like, hey, there's somebody in the water. Zoro cuts
mm.
the water in half, and out pops Jewelry Bonnie.
Most random thing I like that. I was like, what the fuck? What is she
Yeah.
even? What?
Yeah.
What? And I know, and Simon, she's gonna be on the ship now. So now
Yeah.
it's gonna be or I don't think because I don't know because Luffy and Chop they get wrapped up in that wind like,
Yeah.
essentially. So they might get lost and they might get carried away, knowing them
Mm.
typical. Like it might be a Chopper, Luffy, and Bonnie adventure
Ooh.
for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was very random. I don't even know what to think about that because I can't remember the last time I even saw Julie Bonnie. I think it was actually was in Marriage Wars when Sabo was there. I think that was the last time I actually
Yep.
did see her.
Yep.
So
You are correct. That is last time we saw her, because it was basically at the same time that Sabo them were planning to go and break Kuma out. She was also hiding around the corner as well, um, trying to figure out how to help Kuma as well, because she kind of like disguises that old woman to sneak in,
mm,
and so. But yeah, it just brings up so many questions of like, what happened? How did she get from there to here? And I'm just even more excited because I know a lot of us have been kind of like, okay, of all of the worst generation left, she is one that we know still the least about. And so
mhm.
just kind of like trying to figure out, okay, like when and where and how is Oda going to bring her in? And I don't think nobody expected like, oh no, she's just going to be floating in a water bubble in the middle of the ocean.
But even more bigger question: why is she a kid?
Yeah.
Why is she a child? And it made me think like, is she actually one of the weapons that the world gonna created? Is this why she's such a kid? Because they can only make kid versions of the other warlords. So
Yeah.
is this the actual actual weapon?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know because they gave us the actual bounty and everything, and the names were introduced. So like
Yeah.
this is Julie Bonnie, so
Yeah.
she's not one of them. But in a sense, why is she a kid? And the only thing that brought to mind was actually if you remember, I think it was film Z or whatever.
Hmm.
They were one of the pirates I was under in Z's crew. He had the ability to turn people into kids, and they
Yeah.
did that. They
Yeah.
did it to Robin, and they did it to I think Nami too.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, is that canon now? Is that character in making people kids? Is this what's happening? Because why else would she be a kid and just floating in the ocean like this?
I don't know. Well, she can also just fluctuate her age and stuff at her own whim as well. So I'm
Oh,
thinking
she
that,
can?
yeah,
Is that her devil power?
yeah, yeah, cause
Oh.
that's what I was mentioning a while ago. When we saw her last at Marijoa, when she was
Hmm.
going to sneak into the area where Kuma was, she had aged herself up to be an old woman to disguise herself as like the head of a kingdom, and then she aged herself back to her normal young adults, 20-something-year-old, whatever age
Mm.
she is, form. But yeah, that's her power because also back before the time skip at Saboti, when all the worst generation was there as well or whatever, she turned all the Marines into kids and stuff as well, or she turned some of them into kids and some of them into Marines and stuff. So, but yeah, that's her ability, is to kind of fluctuate her age and stuff and those that she touch.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. I don't know why her. I thought her ability was something to do with Eden or something like that.
oh yeah.
That I
but
don't know why.
but yeah, I'm excited to see what the heck is gonna happen next, and to see where this wild ride that Oda is gonna take us, because like I said, it feels like it is no holds barred, nobody's
No, yeah.
safe, anybody could pop up any chapter.
Yeah,
And
I don't even know what to expect anymore from Oda. I'm just all I know. This He's just giving me the excitement I had from before when I first was a One Piece fan. Like,
yeah,
oh shit. I'm just like completely enthralled. I'm just excited for these chapters now. I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning waiting for these drops.
yeah,
I'm fiending a little bit, Oda. Why you got me like this? I don't want to be fiending for these chapters, but I am. I need to know what's going on, because what are you setting up? I
yeah,
know we're in the final saga, but like,
yeah,
this can be one epic saga. Because oh my
yeah,
god,
for sure.
oh,
And so
mm,
yeah, so with that, we're gonna wrap things up. Like I said, hopefully I didn't keep it too long, man. But I definitely
no,
I appreciate your time, man, for coming through.
of course.
So before we go, Rome, give the people, let them know, where they can follow you, find you, and your work and everything that you're doing.
Um, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter name is Lettuce Pray Zero, so that's just the word Lettuce Pray Zero.
Mm-hmm.
I'm typically on there, talk a lot of shenanigans, a lot of One Piece content, and a lot of anime content. But if you really want to follow me, follow my Lettuce Review One page,
Mm-hmm.
which essentially Lettuce Review One. I'm trying to be more consistent on that, so I want to do like my threads and stuff on there,
Yeah.
as well as do like actual reviews and just like space and stuff on them. I'm just trying to separate it from like my original page, because it's filled with a lot of hedonism. So, so I need to separate it too. But of course, you can always find me on Anime After Dark every Thursday. We will be coming back September 29th for a return show, and we're gonna have Favorite Senpai on. So look out for that. And I'm gonna do more things. I'm trying to be more involved in the community as a content creator. I realize I don't do enough. But at the same time, I do nothing at all. But yeah, that's just me, man. I'm just cool, guys. Follow me on Twitter, Let This Pray Zero, if you want to interact with me. I give you some uplifting quotes, and keep pushing you on to do your best.
Yeah, for sure. And as always, I'll have links to all of Rome's socials down in the comments below, or in the description of this on all platforms. And as for myself, y'all know this your boy Rob, aka Father of Ash, aka Dad Needs to Talk. You can find me everywhere at Dad Needs to Talk, for all your talks of family and manga and anime and everything else. I'm trying to think as far as like what's coming up for me in the coming weeks. I'll be doing my fall preview episode with a very special guest. That's all I'll say on that. But somebody that I adore within the community, that I can't wait for us to finally get to a collab and to have that person on the show. So be on the lookout for that in the coming weeks. And yeah, your boy always got something cooking up. So just be on the lookout for, I might drop a random review or something at any given point in time. But yeah, I'm gonna be back on watching more Harley Quinn and other stuff. Once I get off of here, and yeah, and so
one more thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Rob. You're a great content creator. You're a great
Thank
father. You're doing an amazing job. Keep up the good work, man. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it so much, greatly. I had a great time. I had a great conversation, and I got to talk about something I really love, which is great great anime.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes.
I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm excited, and I get nervous at times. So at times, if you notice I was talking too fast, that was just my nerves and me trying to catch up to my brain that's moving too fast. and I always fail.
It's all good, man, and I definitely appreciate the love, man. For everything that the love on here, like I said back when we met at DreamCon, and on the timeline across the board. And so, yeah, and so with that, as I always say, treat yourself to something nice, read some manga, watch some anime, play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, we are out. Y'all have an awesome day and week, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Arrivederci.